Today we want to talk about reducing leadership tension. There are a lot of tensions on the minds and hearts of leaders, but one of the biggest one is communication and understanding of what your role is and what someone else's role is. And so I've got 3 simple words to help us think through how to communicate better about who's responsible for what and what information is passed between what entities. So it's these 3 simple words: inform, advise, and decide. Every ministry, whether it's the lead pastor, the executive team, the children's ministry, maybe between the lead pastor and the board, everyone has to know what everyone else is responsible for, what everyone else needs to know about, and the things that people need to speak into. And inform has to do with the idea that knowledge is shared in an organization. Who needs to know what? And then second is the advise, who needs to speak into what, and then finally decide who makes the final decision about what. Let me just give you an example what this might look like. Imagine a lead pastor and a board that weren't getting along. I know it's hard to believe, but imagine they weren't getting along. It's probably because they're not on the same page with these things. And so the lead pastor would sit down with the board and say, okay, what are the things that you guys want to know about? That would be an informed conversation. So maybe it's the church has been growing and they used to know everything about every line item of the budget to what copier that was rented or whatever. And they would just talk about what are the things you want to be informed about. And so we're going to, in other words, someone else is making a decision and we're just going to tell you about what happened. And then there's the advice. This is maybe the idea that the board would be a soundboard to the pastor. Listen, we're going to make our decision, but we're going to ask the board for their input. They're going to have a voice into it, maybe not a vote about it. And they would speak into those things. Maybe it would be something like the change of times of a service, or maybe it's some other thing, a candidate for a lower level ministry position. They may want to have a voice in the timing of that decision, not necessarily the person of that decision. And then finally decide is where they get to vote. The board makes these decisions, and then on the opposite side, you do the opposite way, where the pastor says, well, here are the things that I want to know about from the board. I want to know, I want to know about what you think of my performance. The performance review would be an informed kind of thing. Advise, I want you to speak into different things that I want to speak into the different things that the board does, and then decide is the things that the senior pastor, the lead pastor himself decides. Every ministry has a level of inform, advise, decide, a level that things they want to know, things they want to speak into, and things they have power to make decisions about. When those things are clear on all levels of an organization, the organization is much more smooth and the tension tends to decrease. This has been a Converge Whiteboard Leadership Moment. To learn more about Converge or to join us, check out converge.org.